from meditation to isolation. All right. One of Hollywood's very own Jared Leto emerged from a silent meditation in the desert to learn about the coronavirus. It's a 12-day meditation. He went on to tweet, and I quote here, got it right here in my handy phone here. Wow, 12 days ago, I began a silent meditation in the desert. We were totally isolated, no phone, no communications, etc. We had no idea what was happening outside of the facility. I want to come back to that. Keep that word in mind, facility. I walked out yesterday into a very different world, one that's been changed forever. Mind-blowing, to say the least. I'm getting messages from friends and family all around the globe and catching up on what's going on. Hope you and yours are okay. Sending positive energy to all. Stay inside. Stay safe. Jared Leto. This is very Jared Leto. Now, what do you make of the tweet? What are your thoughts? Give me your rundown on what you heard about that.
Well, my first reaction is, this is what I text Alan immediately, was like, this is peak Leto. Like, Jared Leto he does, okay, you can love Jared Leto or you can hate Jared Leto, but the guy goes balls deep in everything he does. And you can argue he's ruined everything he's gone balls deep into. His Oscar, he got into acting and he wins an Oscar for being a transvestite before transvestites were cool and funky and hipsters, whatever. He gets into rock and roll and then he kind of ruins like glam metal. Fight Club, he was in that. I mean, Jared Leto goes out to the desert to meditate and the world experiences a global pandemic. And you know who misses it? Jared Leto. It's amazing what he's been able to accomplish in his life and career. And he's just stumbling and bumbling his way through it all. So in a way, I applaud and hate him at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much nailed it. There isn't much more to say. It's so Leto-y.
You love him, though. You're a big fan?
What's that?
You love him, though. You're a big fan, from what I've heard, from what you've told me.
I mean, I enjoy his works, but he is an asshat. I mean, that doesn't really change anything.
It goes Shaq, Leto, Chappelle, and like the Giannis hierarchy, right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's basically how it shakes out.
So I want to come back, and when I think of him coming into society, I think of him giving us a Bill and Ted's like, whoa, oh man, what the hell happened here? What the hell went down? I mean that's obviously isn't what I mean. He probably drove into town and went to his front door, and someone said, "Hey, oh man, you hear what the hell's going on?"
I don't think he drove into town. I think he found like the one rickshaw that exists in California and was brought in by some small Malaysian child riding a bicycle and just came to a ghost town where no one was standing outside and drinking their mojitos at 2 p.m. It's bizarre. And it's kind of cool though. I mean, I respect anybody who goes out to the desert to get away from it all, to meditate. It's got to keep somebody like that half sane. But could you imagine? It's almost like a 28 days later kind of scenario. You left town, everything was normal. You get back to town, and there's a global pandemic just striking the world, and you're just oblivious to all of it. God, could you imagine how healthy your mind would be if you were able to disconnect like Jared Leto? God, it's amazing.
Do you think 12 days is that just pushing the envelope? I mean, do you think there's like a stage like 7, 8, 9, 10 and like, oh shit, he's going for the 12th dayer. It got serious.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the longer you meditate, obviously, the more, definitely the more street cred you get in meditation circles. So that's number one. But yeah, there's probably some people fucking hanging around being like, God, what's this fuckhead doing? Doesn't he have to go, ruin Arena Rock? But you said it, Murr said it perfectly. I can't say it any better. It's so Leto-y.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, I will respect them in this area. If you're going to take like mushrooms, take a lot of them. Get everything you want out of them. If you're going to go meditate in 160-degree steam tent, do it for 12 days. Like, get whatever you're trying to extract from that experience out of it. And the guy's got enough money to do it, so why not?
But
I love Jared Leto.
my point is that so I feel like a 7-day. What can you get from a 12-day that you can't get from a 7-day? What did someone come up with some curriculum of perfect meditation, and 12-day just seems to be the benchmark of how do you even know to getting to the mothership?
Well, I'm not saying that he doesn't have an easy lifestyle. I'm also not saying he doesn't have a hard lifestyle. I'm sure his life in his own way is very stressful. I seriously, it probably takes a week to purge yourself of just technology, like that dependence, that codependence on your phone and computer and all the hustle and bustle. And then you've got a week of just purity. And that's just the gayest thing you'll ever hear come out of my mouth. But
purity.
I think that's probably what.
So the one thing I also wanted to touch on, and Alan, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Okay.
It said we didn't have that in the facility we were at, or at where we were at. What facility? When I don't know. Is this like a shed or some sort of empty warehouse in the middle of nowhere? Was that the facility? When you're meditating for 12 days, I assume you're camping.
Yeah, without having seen anything, with no facts to base this statement off of, 100% it was like yurts in the middle of the fucking desert. Yeah, that's it, man. That's how that goes down. There's no like advanced facility that you meditate in for 12 days. You commune with nature once you get to that 11th and 12th day. You got to be fucking out there.
I imagine some 1930s Barnum and Bailey tent that some hippie guy like bought off the black market and set up like just outside of Burning Man. And that's where they hang out. That's the facility, if you will. That's
it. Okay. And they call it it's more of a title. It's not necessarily an actual facility. It's just called the facility. Hey man, we're going to go to the facility. We're going to get some, we're going to get some good hallucinogenics, some water, some Funyuns, some pizza, and
some onions. Yes.
I said Funyuns. Damn it.
Oh, okay.
Not even pizza rolls.
That's pre-cooked?
Yeah, duh.
Right.
Always pre-cooked.
And then
pre-cooked and sun-baked on the hood of a 1940s Buick.
Gross.
Piping hot, of course. That's from our previous podcast.
It's part of the hallucinogenics.
The piping hot diarrhea?
Yeah, no, the lukewarm pizza rolls.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure all three of those are connected somehow.
Yeah.
So, are you guys shocked that that maybe another, say, like a Shia LaBeouf, didn't emerge with him? Didn't he didn't tag some other fringe 12-day meditator didn't roll out with him? Like, yeah, man, yeah, that sounds pretty fucking insane. I'm gonna do it with you. All right.
I mean, kinda. They usually do travel in packs, but no. I mean, Shy's probably off somewhere doing something fucking equally as insane. Probably not meditating. It's probably like naked in the woods in Russia somewhere doing fucking God knows what. So
yeah,
teach their own.
I imagine Jared Leto like just grabbed some grifter off the street, like, "Hey man, you want to go to the desert with me for 12 days?"
Yeah,
and hum and stare at the sun. I feel like that's how his journeys begin.
And stare at the sun.
Nice. So they compared this to, and did you guys see this? The Big Brother in Germany. Apparently, they didn't know about it, and that's in like a closed facility. I know very little about Big Brother. What I do know is that it's kind of like a real world Survivor thing, but you can't leave the house. And apparently they got they got alerted to this pandemic, and they got all freaked out in the hot tub together, all drunk, before an orgy was just about to break out.
Dude, that would be the best place in the universe to learn about a pandemic. You obviously, none of you in the house have it because you haven't had contact with anybody else. Yeah. You've got all the accoutrements that a television network's going to give you for mass ridiculousness. So you've probably got all the wine, beer, and liquor that you can afford. Mm-hmm. You got cameras and hot chicks. I mean, that's a win-win-win scenario.
All different types of sexuality. Yeah.
What if they just stopped producing the show and they stopped you're fucking on your own? Like, you can still live in the house until production picks back up, but like, they don't feed you, they don't buy you booze. Like, you just gotta fucking wing it. Now you're just in this house.
I think I just became a fan of Big Brother.
That
People,
would be, yeah, I would watch that.
people start throwing fecal matter against the wall.
Hey, man, whatever it takes.
What does that take?
I don't know. Apocalypse times call for fucking crazy measures, bro. You don't know. You
Yeah.
have no idea what could be solved by throwing my own fecal matter out a fucking window. You have no idea.
It just takes an upset stomach and a strong arm.
Yeah.
Hey, if you end up doing it, report back to me. I want to know if it's piping hot. All right.
Okay.
What, poop?
I'll let you know.
Well, I
I
guess
would
the time,
assume
yeah.
that's probably the best time to throw it.
when it's
It's someone else. I mean, if you're just throwing it for, pardon the pun, but shits and giggles, then you probably want it to cool down a little bit first.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, and especially if it's for distance, you definitely want to let it cool down.
so chuck it in the freezer for a minute. Jeez, God, who's never done that?
You could.
Yeah, well, it's time to turn into Big Brother Germany, folks. There's some hot takes going on out there.
So that some fecal matter may or may not be thrown.
Yeah,
We don't know. We don't know.
German. What do they say before? And you speak any German?
Nope.
Damn,
I had 4 years. I remember none of it.
isn't that amazing? How people forget shit like that.
Well, I really didn't know any while I was there either. Ulf Grabowski didn't care that I cheated off of everyone sitting around me.
Yeah, a one-armed teacher, one-armed German teacher at Perryville High School named Ulf Grabowski. What do you think about that, Alan? Did you get that up in Mount St. Joe's?
Nope. Didn't get that experience. I don't think we had German, strangely enough. I think we were like French and Spanish. We had Latin for the nerds. You know, for those who wanted to continue their Bible study past high school.
Right.
Latin was key.
Dude, I used to draw a comic for another John Klein there, Wes.
Okay.
I used to, and I would pass it to him. It was called The Nutty Nazi, and it starred Ulf Grabowski, and it was just a one-armed German man who would basically torment children. Because what was odd about the German class too, Alan, is that there was, I think it was a special ed room at one point, so there was a soundproof room in there. So if they pitched a fit, they could put the kids in the soundproof room. They could pitch their fit in there and not bother anybody else. Well, I used to get thrown in the soundproof room quite a lot just for being an asshole. And so I would sit in there and I would draw Nutty Nazi cartoons. It was always kids getting their, having Ulf use his one good arm to shove their fingers into fan blades and things like that. It was quite well received.
Are you sure it wasn't an old like band room? Because then someone can go off in there on their own and practice while not disrupting the big band.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a special ed room, and I don't think it was any coincidence that I happened to be in that class for 3 years.
Solid.